17th, 1967, in Lubbock, Texas, Norris pursued sports at an early age. He would first pursue baseball during high school and actually excelled. However, he fell in love with boxing and was a standout in the amateur ranks. Before turning pro, he racked up a 291-4 record and won the Texas State Golden Gloves 4 times. After a stellar amateur career, Terry Norris made his pro debut on August 2nd, 1986, and knocked out his opponent in the first round. In the boxing game, Terry was known for his slick moves and technical skills, plus he had some serious punching power. They called him terrible in the ring. Following 12 wins, Norris suffered a points loss and a pretty close fight against Derek Kelly. Terry blamed this setback on a tough weight cut that left him physically drained. He bounced back against Edward Neblett. But in November 1987, he lost control of himself and tarnished his records once again. He was disqualified for striking his opponent Joe Walker, who was down. Finally, Terry's streak of bad luck came to an end, and he got his act together, going on another winning streak. Among the opponents he defeated were 2 future champions, Quincy Taylor and Steve Little. Terry is one of the few who managed to stop Steve Little early. He also scored a decision victory over former champion Buster Drayton. It was Terry's wins against Quincy Taylor and Buster Drayton that put him at the top of the WBA rankings in the super welterweight division.
Big shot, right hand, back straight down, he's ripped in trouble. Look at the still champion,
the hardest punching junior middleweight today.
And today he fights for both his title and for recognition.
I'm tired of being in the shadows now, and I think this is my opportunity. I'm feeling good about myself, and I'm just ready to go out there and just prove to the world that I am a champion.
Underway from the Atlantic City Convention Center for the WBA Junior Middleweight title, Julian Jackson and Terry Norris.
On July 30th, 1989, Terry faced the hard-hitting Julian Jackson for the WBA Super Welterweight title. In the first round, the challenger dominated the champion.
The champion. I think Julian Jackson's having a lot of trouble with the speed.
Well, Julian, and right now the champion looking a little perplexed.
I feel like I think if you're the Norris corner, the fact that
Norris and his people are well aware of the fact
second round also started in Terry's favor. However, one mistake cost him the victory. He took a few steps back without throwing punches, and Jackson's devastating right hook landed on his chin, sending him to the canvas.
Try to work the body to get it out of a southpaw stance, but again,
Much coming back from the champion, but Norris got under it if it was. So he looks totally relaxed and totally...
Terry struggled to get back on his feet, but referee Joe Cortez stopped the fight.
Incredible knockout ratio of Jackson. And then right again from Terry Norris.
Carrying a little bit, he just drops it there a little bit and just gave enough. Another
Just nicking the glove, and I'm afraid the second punches are after the fact.
Terry's first crack at the title turned out to be a bust.
He said he's all right, but
I don't know. That's it.
After 3 successful bouts, Norris got another shot at the Super Welterweight Championship, this time the WBC version. His opponent was John Mugabe, also known as the Beast. Mugabe, boasting an impressive record of 36 knockouts out of 36 wins, made Terry the clear underdog.
It is the final round. There's the bell for the WBC.
But right from the get-go of the first round, Terrible landed a left hook. And after a prolonged beating, Mugabe found himself on the canvas. John, struggling to get up, was just trying to avoid getting knocked out. But closer to the end of the fight, Terry delivered an uppercut, and his opponent fell face first into a heavy knockout. Thus, Terry became the new WBC Super Welterweight World Champion. This victory marked the beginning of his triumphant journey. 3 months later, Norris headed to France for his first title defense. His opponent was local fighter Rene Jacko, who lost the bout by unanimous decision. On February 9th, 1991, Terry Norris defended his title once again, this time against the returning legend Sugar Ray Leonard at Madison Square Garden. Norris maintained complete control and didn't give the great champion any chance. In the second round, Terry sent Sugar Ray to the canvas. The same thing happened in the 7th round. Despite Norris's total domination, Ray lasted until the end of the 12th round, but lost decisively on points.
Sometimes a man must overcompensate.
Becoming the champion and defeating Leonard made 23-year-old Norris a global boxing star, attracting attention from the media and major promotional companies.
Do you know me? Most people don't even recognize me, even though I'm the Super Welterweight champion.
On July 1st, 1991, the champ defended his title for the 3rd time against Donald Curry as the 4-1 favorite. After beating Sugar Ray Leonard, he felt untouchable, as he put it.
Curry was actually a little cold. Time to time. There's no doubt he's no finisher. Mistakes. I'll hit you with a good right hand. You know the ring, he's not charging the guy any further than way he got him like a race car driver would have fast. He's been able to make a mistake.
he's almost equal.
Although Curry wasn't at the peak of his game anymore, he was still a dangerous puncher aiming to land his straight right on Norris. That move worked surprisingly well, as Norris fell into the trap, standing his ground and engaging in close combat, which seemed odd to some. Later, Norris explained his departure from his usual tactics, telling the media, "I wanted to knock him out. I started thinking, I beat Leonard, I beat a legend, nobody can touch me."
Hand speed apparent. Curry may yet.
Curry just doesn't seem to have any respect.
Curry backing off because this is the style that goodness away.
That's that right hand.
All-time classic right hands. Low blow from Curry. He gets away with it. Three shots.
Curry is on the. This is when you make that decision. Do I want it? Do I really want to be champ again? Does he want it? That just who doesn't matter. All on the Arsenio Hall show. Signing autographs. Not going to be one right hand decision.
But Curry wouldn't have it for 7 rounds, trading heavy blows, landing clean hooks with solid counters.
It's a legendary.
Norris complained that Curry used dirty tactics throughout the fight. The bout was grueling and took its toll on Curry, especially when he began to fade in the 8th round.
I don't remember.
Take a look at the knockdown. There's a right that staggered him.
Curry tried one last hurrah, a powerful combination of lefts and rights that seemed to shake the champion.
There was a left hook that hurt Curry, but he keeps coming back.
Norris responded with his own shots, causing damage to Curry, but the second blow staggered him. Curry dropped to his knees, and here came the controversy. As he lay there, Norris landed another heavy blow, repeating his actions from his previous fight with Leonard.
Now let's take a look at the knockdown.
Good right hand.
Right on the temple. 8-9 rounds of hard punches of a guy who refused to be intimidated and gave him pressure in return.
Referee Chuck Hassel, who showed little control throughout the fight, chose to ignore this blow, finishing the count to 10 with just seconds remaining in the round. This was Norris' first win after beating Sugar Ray Leonard. This win made Terry Norris the man at 154 pounds. Next, the boxer went on a string of successful defenses against the following opponents. Brett Lally, technical knockout in the first round.
To stare one another down. This is going to be a tough one.
Norris lands a solid left hook. The very first knockdown. Watch the left hand.
There's this to the left hand.
Still the first knockdown.
It's sweet. It sweeps him. Like I said, if he would just turn
Terry Norris. And slowly lands the right hand, but takes the right and goes down. Another look at that second knockdown. Well, there were 2 punches, the left and the short right.
You Norris is so quick. Once he got caught himself with one, he shut his eyes and started swinging. Lally was right there.
There's no 3 knockdown rule in this fight.
3 knockdowns, 14 seconds remaining in round number 1. It was a first round knockout for Terry Norris.
Jorge Fernando Castro, victory by unanimous decision in a 12-round bout.
Incredibly active player. He's been
Keeping a very close fucking break. Each time we say to ourselves, well, I wonder how much more Norris might mentally have settled for 14 off and
14 more in this one than he had for
And a technical knockout victory over compatriot Carl Daniels.
Terry Norris with boxing about a huge step up in class rather than Hank Daniels.
Interesting that Carl is look at Carl Daniels doing southpaw. Oh!
The fight ended in the 9th round at 2 minutes and 37 seconds when referee Lou Filippo stopped the fight.
A minute and 20 seconds left in the 7th round at the end of the 7th, but it appears he has. Big right hand.
May 9th, 1992, at an open-air arena in Las Vegas, Terry Norris defended his title against Meldrick Taylor, a talented former champion in the super welterweight division.
Stunning fight just started, George. Taylor wants to state that this...
The first 2 rounds were evenly matched.
More Taylor throws before he makes his own. Norris lands the right hand as they step apart, and now Terry Norris can be thinking that Meldrick Taylor his lips. It does not necessarily mean there's blood. It's too long. Meldrick's following instructions from George Benton. Those trying to jab. Norris trying to come over the top with the right hand. And send him to the hospital afterwards.
In the 3rd round, Norris took the lead, landing power shots more frequently.
Left to the butt is taking over again, although I didn't get him low. Right hand lands. There's the right again, and Meldrick.
The following round saw Taylor hit the canvas twice.
There to block. Overhand right. Taylor wobbly.
Right on top of the head, strange that a middleweight fighter can knock you down in that fashion.
If you remember one in return, Norris with another solid right. Meldrick is woozy on the ropes. Second knockdown.
Taylor is hurt, and a punch on top of the head sends him reeling. He's off balance.
When you're hurt.
Only your heart and only your memory can give you those instructions.
And those shots, the first one was right on the between the...
After that, referee Mills Lane stopped the bout.
A decision for Lane to make. He's very close to stopping it, and there it is.
Rightful decision.
Interestingly, Terry Norris has a history of hitting fighters when they're down.
Norris became the only fighter to stop Taylor in just 4 rounds. In 1993, on the advice of his representative Joe Sajatovich, Terry signed a long-term contract with Don King. In the future, Norris would regret his decision. After another win against Pat Lawler, he declined to continue the fight in the 3rd round. On February 20th, 1993, Terry faced off against Maurice Blocker. Blocker was saved by the bell in the 1st round from an early knockout.
Can Blocker survive? 15 seconds. He's just trying to stay up. Oh, down he goes again. Okay, and he's up before the bell. And that's the worst piece.
And it was all over in the 2nd.
And he wants to tell Mexico he's ready for Chavez. Oh, there goes.
Next up, Norris took on Troy Waters from Australia and defeated him in the 3rd round with a technical knockout.
He's got to land something hard. He can punch, there's no question.
Norris, who has in power, a decent boxer, but he didn't never get it.
Take a point away. I think it's academic the way this is going.
Their 2nd round was dubbed the Round of the Year by Ring Magazine.
Fighter, a rough guy.
There's another right hand.
It was just, I thought it was a low.
He's demonstrating a pretty good chin and some, I'll tell you what, some real determination.
Unbelievable as it sounds. Here's an uppercut coming to get. No, it's not an uppercut. It's a right.
Oh my God!
Will this be the upset of the year? No, it'll be the upset.
Adrenaline is behind him because of that knockdown.
He keeps hitting low because Troy Waters
This one-game kid.
Well, he's on the way now.
And most of them in disbelief. Now round 3. Izzy looking ahead to Reggie Johnson. Blood streaking from the face of Troy Waters. Oh, body shots by Norris.
This referee just doesn't see low. One punch was coming as the other one went right.
You see Troy's feet. He's up in the air. He's off balance. He gets caught, but he looks okay now. He looks better now. But will he be able to keep cool? He goes down for the 2nd hit. Let's continue.
Look at him. Look at him.
It's going to be just a minute later. Troy absorbing an amazing amount of
His face will fall apart when it is. It's coming apart. I don't want to go. Look, this guy
It's all over.
For the defense of his championship belt against opponent Joe Gaddy, brother of the renowned Arturo Gaddy, it took just 1.5 minutes into the first round.
100%. Come out, go on.
Don't leave, because this is kind of explosive, and it's going to end. He's been knocked down twice after 3 rounds. You don't have to be a prophet. The first knockdown, which was in effect the only thing that needed. Now keep your eyes on Norris. This hook, left hook, right on the button. Goodbye. And that's what changed the difference in the fight.
Now it's just a matter of time. His last 2 or 3 shots here and there, that was it. I think he caught that.
Gaddy hooked down. We haven't got any official signal.
The fight against Simon Brown was a big surprise.
Deputy Harris, Darrell Booth, and then for the fugitive.
Big surprise. Boxing is often full of stories where a fight arises from the ashes to pull off what many consider an upset. However, some surprises stand out for their ability to stun spectators. One such case was Norris' 11th defense.
What are his chances? Good punches, slick boxer. This is going to be an interesting fight. Well, right now, Simon Brown is certainly on top of the world.
Initially, Norris and Brown were supposed to meet on September 27, 1992. But on the evening of that scheduled fight, Brown checked himself into a local hospital in Las Vegas, complaining of chest pain and dizziness. The bout was canceled after doctors deemed Brown unfit to fight. Although Brown was respected by his peers, many observers believed he was on the decline in his career. When they finally met in December 1993 at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, most observers considered Norris a clear favorite. Mantequilla proved the experts wrong.
A point in his chin when he goes down, and the difference in size is kind of surprising when you first look at him.
Of course, he could have win early and just mainly everything but on the distance and experience the type of fights that he has.
Those punching Norris dropped waters in the first. Norris got lazy in the second. Very hard is Norris at 89. Norris at that point.
Once Terry Norris finds out he can walk through you, he will.
In the final seconds of the first round, Brown sent the champion down with a powerful left hook.
Great body puncher.
And down goes Norris.
He steps into him, what? Boom. Right on the chin. Dead in the...
Knockdown. That's a 10-8 round for Simon Brown to start off.
Norris, what a shocker.
He showed the quick, he stuck him with...
Normally a nimble and athletic boxer, Norris chose to attack Brown this time instead of going on the defensive after the knockdown. It led to catastrophic consequences.
Big heart, a good chin, just tried hard. But Simon Brown's been tested.
Combinations going, and that's what puts Terry Norris goes down. He just gets up fighting, and that's the mark of a great champion.
The early speed as well, and he's dangerous, particularly when he's behind, as we saw against his good friend Maurice Blocker.
By the end of the second round, a right hand had Norris on shaky legs.
Less than 30 seconds in round 2.
They with the amount of power before you shot, there goes Norris again. Flag. Here you see later in the round where the right hand right on the temple, Norris's legs come out from under him once again.
In the third round, Norris foolishly continued to press forward. But his punches had no effect on the former champion, while Brown was putting Norris on his knees with every powerful blow.
There's another big right hand laying down the money, and I'll tell you right now, Terry Norris does not have his legs under him. He's in trouble.
We're only in round 3, and Simon Brown having his way with the chip. Midway through the third. To the challenger Brown. He's just letting it all hang out. This could be his last stand.
But he's also better defensively.
At the end of the round, another right hand from Brown again hurt Norris and sent him staggering back to his corner.
Blood on the lower lip of Simon Brown is the bell boy. And look at that. Knocked down once and staggered.
In the first minute of the fourth round, a right hand knocked Norris out.
Simon Brown off him because Simon Brown can
Derek Kelly in 87. Joseph Walker, a disqualification.
Look at that right hand.
10 punch will do it. And here it comes. It's a right hand to the back of the head on it.
This outcome was the sensation of the year in 1993. Ripples from it traveled across the boxing universe. On a cool and fresh evening in Mexico City, Brown turned back the clock and thus secured one of the most stunning victories ever seen. 4 months later, Terry came back and scored a knockout victory against Mexican fighter Armando Campos.
He knows compositions are just so crisp and accurate.
On May 7th, 1994, Norris got a shot at reclaiming his belt and settling the score in a rematch with Simon Brown.
Terry's first rematch.
There's no question about it. Simon Brown can punch and he shows Instead of just that straightforward offensive mind, he had his defense on it.
Yes, if Brown makes him a
Fine done, buddy.
It's not something. And he's moving. There he goes.
This time around, Norris easily beat Brown on points without breaking a sweat.
Might not just stay now. We don't know, some things may be wrong. He may really be hurt from some of the body shots, some of the shots in the chin. He's a
Norris looking for redemption.
I'll tell you what, there's no criticism.
He thinks he's losing the time. I mean, I'm going to still win this fight. So let's smile.
Look at this.
Personal life issues for the boxer led to a bizarre and absurd trilogy with Luis Santana.
This is the first defense of these.
On November 12th, 1994, in Mexico, Terry defended his title against journeyman boxer Luis Santana. At the peak of his career and once again holding the WBC title at 154 pounds, Norris was confident he could handle Santana from the Dominican Republic. Norris started the fight with a lightning-fast attack and easily won the first 2 rounds.
Tighten up in the first couple of rounds here. Well, he speaks very good English, he understands it. Okay, in the corner there, if you come out for the 3rd round then. Certainly one of the most experienced guys around.
He's been out. Maybe his appetite a bit of it.
But in the 3rd round, his chin let him down again. Santana landed a blow to the head, and Norris lost his balance.
Still backing off.
Oh,
He's
dear.
looking for things now. Legs don't look right.
I think maybe he does have that chance.
He had to get up after the hit. He was furious.
The Simon Brown at least has been a world.
In the 4th round, Norris lost a point for hitting Santana, who suffered a cut on his forehead with bleeding. It was a bad sign for terrible Terry. Things were only getting worse.
Oh, he's good.
An accidental flash. I don't know why any points. So,
Yes, cut right off.
it's called an accidental head cut and took a point. Look at the referee.
Oh, well, there's a knee going on here. Now we've got the injury to go with it. You know, they sometimes never get over a stoppage like this round then on this WBC.
After shaking.
In the 5th round, firmly in control and once again seeking a knockout, Norris landed a left-hand rabbit shot on Santana.
Handed to Norris, he still fancies the job.
There he comes again. Maybe it's just a mannerism of the misjudge. Oh, back in the...
I mean, there's no reason for him to be
about?
in the floor.
I mean, honestly.
Santana collapsed flat on his back, arms outstretched. Norris immediately suspected his opponent was trying to win the title through disqualification. However, Santana appeared genuinely distressed, with his closed eyes darting around in his skull. Santana said he couldn't continue the fight, and the ref disqualified the champ. Eventually, Santana was stretchered out of the ring, the new champion. Norris couldn't conceal his disgust. He was faking it. His eyes were wide open, but when the doctor approached him, he closed them, the former champion remarked. Many reckon the Mexican was faking it, including his fellow countrymen who were in the crowd at the time.
ringside.
On April 8, 1995, a rematch took place. Terry smashed the newly crowned champion.
an effective defense against erosion and cavities, I recommend Pronamel Active Shield. For 2 times stronger defense against erosion and effective cavity protection, Pronamel Active Shield is a game changer.
What? It's superhero dance school.
Lego with Ego.
Can we?
A beautiful dining room is possible with free expert design help. The Design Desk. Book your free appointment today.
Push me to water into my satisfaction. Satisfaction.
Santana found himself on the canvas several times. There was no doubt among the audience and experts that the Terrible would regain the title. What went down with Terry Norris at the end of the 3rd round still remains a mystery. One thing's for sure, his mental state was far from okay. In the 3rd round, Norris deliberately clocked his opponent after the stop command. Result? 2nd disqualification. Santana kept the title while being knocked out cold.
Never had a rematch. I'm going to listen for the bell, make sure I don't hit my head.
On August 19th, 1995, the 3rd fight between Luis and Terry took place. On the 3rd attempt, Norris managed to legally knock out Santana and regain the championship belt.
Alex, if you're looking through the generous sporting, definitely get Buffalo for a second.
Debates continue as to whether Santana faked his injury in the first fight. If it was a play,